Welcome along to my demo for mobile app development. As you can see, the repository consists of 179 commits across 22 branches with 9 releases. The way I worked on this was every feature I added got its own branch, and that branch then was merged to master. Then when the master was stable, I created a release and tagged it up. So you can see if we go through the 9 releases, these span across the entire semester based on my first part of assignment 1 and assignment 2. So these follow a semantic versioning, pre-releases leading up to version 1, which was my assignment 1. The next release then was 1.1, which made a change that was backward compatible, allowing the reconstruction of the application to suit expansion and additional features for assignment 2. These included the MVP structure, a more of a fragment layout, and I added more of a location tracker. Then my version 2, which was not backward compatible to the previous version, was a cloud native app using Firebase Auth, database and storage. The features that were added then were a map of all hill forts, a rate of hill fort, Android X, KTX, favorite hill forts, favorite view, current location detection, model view presenter, bottom navigation, overflow navigation, swipe support, Firebase Auth, DB and storage. Following off from that then was a small change which added extra features, including location detection, current location detection, share hill fort, images direct from camera, and landscape UI for all views. And then my final version 2.1.1 was minor fixes to increase app stability and performance. Included then in the repo was Circle CI. So as we can see from Circle CI, I have a 191 builds. Each commit was built, and each push to master was built, and each release was built. So this was handy for picking up some minor errors that were overseen and which could have led to unforeseen problems further on down the line. I also added KT-lint, which is an anti-bike shedding Kotlin linter, so there's no discrepancies. So basically running Gradle KT lint format checked for all lint errors and also restructured them automatically for me, which was nice for keeping the application and code base nice and clean. It's time for a demo. So if we boot up, I have an emulator running. If we boot up the application from our splash screen, we get our login, our sign up pages. So if we log in then with my own user, nice safe password. If we jump over there, well, there's a small bit of latency due to the emulator running. As you can see then in the Firebase database, we have a user with a profile and also with the hill forts associated with that user, and then in the authentication then we have our user. So back on this then, if we look at the profile, see we have a profile page with an image. If we come over then to profile settings, I'll just load up the database to show you this happening in real time. If we look then, we have our user image is stored to Firebase. So if we update the avatar to a different picture, update the user, you see it, first of all it updates to the local storage, and then when it gets pushed to Firebase then it re-updates then to the Firebase storage. We also then can view the maps or hill fort on maps. You can see we can click on them, Tintern Abbey, fantastic walks, and an image associated with it. We zoom out then, we can see all our locations that we have added. Slieve them on, Cumshanon Lake. You can also view them in their profiles. If we go to profiles, we get this swipe support then is added here. Unfortunately, the images take some time on the emulator to load in via Firebase. We also have swipe support added on the images. The search is added then through this toolbar here. We can just jump to any image or any profile that we want. We're also able to share profiles. So if we share a profile, we get this pre-built message. The title, I found this cool hill fort, with hey, I found this awesome hill fort here, and there's the latitude and longitude of the hill fort. So if we go back to the application, it looks like the emulator froze for a second, sorry. Go back. We also have Hilfort favorites, which is based on any Hilfort that we have given a 5-star rating to. So if we go back then to Hilfort profiles, we'll give Tintron 5 stars. Go to favorites. Tintron is there. Now, if we just log out to continue on with the demo, this time we're going to create a new user. Test.test.com, nice safe password, and sign up. We should see a new user pop in here. There we go. Again with the profile. If we go ahead and add a Hilfort, for some reason the emulator picks us up as being in Google Plex. The location actually works on my phone. I don't understand why it's happening here in the emulator, but we can take an image with the camera. Again, then the emulator gives us this, which is awful laggy. Take the image. For some reason the image flips in the picture. Give it the OK. That's what we're uploading. So test des. Oh, we'll give it 3 stars. Add a Hilfort. See the Hilfort is added. If we go on in there, you can see then the image then is uploaded then to Firebase. Finally then we can go in profile settings. If we delete a user, everything associated with that user is also deleted. The Firebase storage is also working. Unfortunately, Firebase do not offer a way to delete entire folders, so each user actually gets a folder. I haven't had time to go in and actually try and hack something together in order to empty the folders themselves, but as of now the API for Firebase doesn't allow you to delete an entire folder. If we just jump over and have a look at some of the code, something that I forgot to show in the demonstration there was we have our landscape layouts. So if we look, each fragment or each view pretty much has its own landscape view compared to the portrait one. As for the code, we can see then they're split into adapters, helpers, main, models and views. So we have a couple of adapters that help with the support for the slide support, a couple of helper methods for password, location, date helpers, etc. We have our main method. We have a couple of models. So we have our data model, which is pretty much our Hilfort model, and then we have our user model, which provides us with our profile, with our user profile. In our views then, our views pretty much consist of 2 activities. So first of all, we have our startup activity. This activity is on obviously startup of the application. It then uses the presenter to load login. Then we have a login fragment and a sign up fragment. So if we look at the login presenter, basically it uses Firebase Auth. It authenticates the user using the password. It then goes to the Firestore and it checks, it fetches all the Hilforts, and from the Hilforts then it pulls the user profile back. We set then some environmental variables, and then we load the our home method, our home view. Our home view then is, if we have a look, is our second activity. So in this then we have our basis for our app. We provide our bottom navigation, and we also provide our overflow methods. From this method then we basically navigate through the application, switching fragments. So if we have a look at, say, the profile fragment, if we go to user and we have a look at the profile fragment, it has this new instance. Each fragment consists of a new instance method. In that then we can create a bundle, add then some add some participles or add some variables that we want to pass to it. We create our new fragment, we add the fragment arguments to it, and then we return the fragment. So if we return then to home, on the navigation to the profile, we're basically creating a new profile dot new instance, and we're passing it to the current user. Then we're using this open fragment method. So if we go to home presenter, our basically open fragment method is just replacing the current fragment with the new fragment and pushing it back on the stack. That's pretty much all showed from the code.